Excited to have you in elementary Greek. Throughout this semester, you will engage Bill Mounce's Basics of Biblical Greek. You will look at your Greek text as well and progress each step of the way in learning the words as vocabulary of the Greek New Testament and also the grammatical forms of those words. I want to begin with you here in just setting out some ideas that will help you to be successful in the class, especially as it revolves around you and your personal study. In this screencast, I want to think with you about your role in learning Greek. Most students who learn Greek or Hebrew, or we could say this about any language besides just the biblical languages, recognize that it's personal labor in that language that helps them along the way. We can't learn by osmosis. We can't learn just from other people telling us information. We have to study ourselves. So I want to set you up for success in that regard. Let's pray together as we begin the class. Lord, help students as they think about the components of words, what words mean, and help them in putting words together in phrases and sentences, and to understand the New Testament better because they can read those words and phrases and sentences. Give us great joy in reading your word and help students by that joy to have a disciplined plan of study that they can be successful. I ask in Christ's name, amen. I want to think with you then here about what it means to have success in this class and a plan that you can follow to be successful. I have here a grid before you that if you follow this grid, you will be able to accomplish the objectives of the class, learning the basic parts of speech, the noun, the adjective, the preposition, various forms of indicative verbs and non-indicative verbs and participles, learning what words mean and looking them up in the lexicon, which is just another word for dictionary, which you can find in the back of Mounce's textbook. So here a study plan. Begin the week on Monday by watching the videos that are on Canvas. You'll look and notice that on Canvas there are units, and those units have various chapters of Mounce's textbook, and there are screencast videos like this one for each chapter. So on Monday, watch those videos and then grab your textbook and look at your vocab section at the conclusion of the chapter. Now, these first few chapters of the textbook don't have quite as many vocab words, but then as we progress throughout the textbook, nearly every chapter will have a number of vocab words, between 10 to 15 normally, and you need to begin working on those vocab words right away. I would suggest as you work on this plan on Monday, perhaps start by watching those videos in the morning if possible. So let's put AM, and then doing vocab in the evening. This pattern of AM, PM learning can be extremely helpful for you in learning Greek, just as it is in learning other languages or in studying the sciences, physics, calculus, these kinds of classes, because your brain actually learns when you are not studying that material. So as you study, your brain has a time to take in information, and when you're not studying it, your brain actually processes that information. So give your brain a break throughout the day. So in the morning, those videos last between 10 to 30 minutes. Watch the videos in the morning. Take 10 to 30 minutes, watch the video, have your textbook open perhaps. In the evening, work on vocab. So your total Monday time of study is perhaps an hour, and you then move on and go on to Tuesday. And on Tuesday, continue to work on vocab and begin studying your textbook. Now you'll notice that what we cover in the videos is based upon the textbook. So you'll have an opportunity from what you've learned in the videos to go to the textbook and then begin to assimilate that material for yourself. It's here where you begin to take notes and you write in your textbook, you think through the material that was presented in the video, and you begin to connect some dots. Again, that AM/PM plan might be helpful. In the morning, perhaps, working on vocab, and then in the evening, studying your textbook. This takes us to Wednesday. And Wednesday, we move up the grid. We study our textbook. We complete the open book exercise. Now, this open book exercise is one of 2 graded items in this left column. The open book exercise is just that. Use your textbook, use your workbook, use other resources. That open book exercise is due by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday and gives you an opportunity to immediately, early in the week, process what you have studied Monday and Tuesday. So work on that open book exercise, and then also get onto your workbook. Your workbook assignment is so helpful to give you an opportunity to process this material, to look at the grammatical concepts and the words and put them into practice. You will notice on Canvas that I have an answer key provided for the 3rd edition of Mounce's workbook. The 4th edition of the workbook is nearly exactly the same as the 3rd edition, so that workbook answer key will be helpful for you. And here's maybe a question that comes to your mind. Why is the professor providing us an answer key? Because I want you to be able to self-grade your work throughout the week. As you complete your work, then look at the answer key to see how you are doing in parsing and in translating the material in the workbook. Then we move on to Thursday. Having already, again, looked at the videos on Monday, you've looked at the textbook some, and on Tuesday you've further processed vocab. Then Wednesday you've done your open book exercise especially. Then we get to Thursday, and on Thursday I would suggest that you go back and watch that video again, or those videos, any that you would have questions about. It's here where you have taken what you have learned in the textbook and you have processed that material, and now you can bring it back down and review it by looking at that video again, or those videos for the concepts covered in the chapter. So watch that video again and then get back to your workbook. Continue on in the exercises that are there and begin to review vocab. One important note about vocab is that, like any language, here learning Greek, vocab is cumulative. So each week you have new vocab, and that needs to be added to your previous list. So you learn new vocab, and then you go back and review vocab, and you may want to do this at other points throughout the week. Again, this AM/PM plan is helpful. It may be good to watch those videos in the morning, in the evening, working on your workbook and vocab. Now, when I say in the morning, again, perhaps it's an hour in the morning or a little bit less, half hour in the morning. Watch those videos again. In the evening, an hour or so. If you give a total of an hour to an hour and a half a day, and you divide that up into half-hour or 1 hour slots, you are going to be successful in learning Greek. On Friday, grab your textbook again and just review the material in your textbook, get your eyes on it, skim back through it, continue to work on your workbook and reviewing vocab. Once again, perhaps it's in the morning that you are looking at your textbook, and then in the evening working on your workbook and reviewing vocab. Even if you just have 15 to 30 minutes there in the morning on Friday to look through your textbook again. It will be so helpful for you. Perhaps Friday evening you're getting tired. Well, take just half an hour. Discipline yourself for half an hour. Do a few workbook entries. Spend 15 minutes reviewing vocab. Just be disciplined to do it each day. Don't take a day off of Greek. You'll notice that there is nothing for Sunday. I do want you to have Sunday off, but Monday through Saturday, get some work done. Well, this leads us to Saturday then. Continue to work on your workbook, reviewing some vocab, and then your closed book exercise. The closed book exercise here is the highest grade point value of the week, so you'll want to build up. And you see already in this scheme that I have established, we go up the scale. We start here just by being introduced to material, and by the end of the week here, you are reproducing these ideas and you are analyzing the Greek text, and you're able to identify parts of speech, to distinguish them, think about their function, and recognize vocab. So if you follow this plan Monday through Saturday, again, working AM and PM most days, and you spend 1 to 1.5 hours per day, you will be successful in elementary Greek. All the best to you. Excited for you to study this course and to learn the Greek New Testament one step at a time.